Welcome to the Self-Awareness and Self-Compassion Podcast, formerly known as the Full Spectrum Feeling Podcast. I'm your host, Blaise Schwaller, life coach, mom, and former tattoo artist. I help people heal their past, speak their truth, and love the lives that they're living now. Join me here every week for conversations on how to live an imperfect but fully engaged life that embraces all the feels so that you can stretch into your best life while enjoying the you that's here right now. Hello and welcome back. This is Blaise, and this week I want to share a story with you that I thought was really simple, sweet, and insightful for me. So over the past few weeks, I've started doing some meditations and self-hypnosis and trying to get into my own mind and improve different aspects of myself. And one of the things that they say as you're entering the alpha level stage of your brainwaves is they say, every day and every way, I am getting better and better. And I like that. And it feels nice to say it to myself and to think about what that means and to feel it in my body. And then that evening, one of those evenings, I was putting my daughter to bed. And as I got her into bed, I snuggled up next to her and I got in close and I whispered to her, every day and every way, you are getting better and better and better. And she just turned and looked at me and said, oh, thanks for noticing. And in that moment, I went, wow, that's amazing. Here I am as an adult needing to tell myself these things and remind myself that it's possible for me to do so. And yet as children, we just know that we are. For her, it was just, oh, thanks for noticing. Of course, I'm getting better and better. Like, here I am. I'm learning everything about life right now. And it occurred to me like, whoa, what if I could decide and remember that I still am as well? And so are you. I think we get into our routines, particularly as we enter adulthood, and then we just think of ourselves as like a fully cooked adult. And somewhere in there, we have this self-concept that says like, okay, I've got it. I'm an adult. I am who I am now. And that's actually really nice. It makes us feel good. We feel strong. We have routines. We know what we're doing and we're competent. But we lose something with that as well, which is this knowledge that, of course, we're getting better. Of course, there's more to learn. There's no way that we couldn't be getting better at things because we're keeping learning things. But if we close ourselves off to that, if we stop believing that that's true, I think it's a little sad. I really do. I think it's nice to remind myself that I could also choose to be in this state continually where, of course, I'm getting better and better because, of course, there's so much more to learn. Of course, today I'm not as good as I'll be tomorrow, and tomorrow I'll be even better than the day before, and it just keeps going forever. I do believe that, but I want to feel it and just know it in my bones the way that my daughter knew it in her soul in that moment. It was just so gobsmacking to me that we could have that kind of belief in ourselves. So I want to talk today about how do we regain that childlike ability to believe in ourselves and also to be able to accept compliments like that or just accept the truth and say, oh, thanks for noticing. And what is it in your life that you want to be noticed for? What is it that you've been striving and working towards and working really hard for that maybe hasn't been easy, that it would be amazing to have someone say, you know what, I've noticed that every day you're getting better. Are you able to give that to yourself? Because I think when we do, there's this expansion of the soul, an expansion of the heart. There was definitely a sense for me of having more space to breathe and feeling just good and accepted and seen. And it's so important, I think, that we see ourselves because, as we all know, not everybody out there is going to give us a compliment or acknowledge us or even know what our struggle is. We are the one who is doing it. We're the one who's working really hard. And we should be the one that's there for ourselves to be able to take a moment, even if it's just right now this week, and go, I see myself. I see how hard I've been working. I see how I've actually made steps forward. I've gotten better at what I've been working hard towards doing. And yes, maybe I'm not perfect at it yet. And honestly, I would offer maybe the point isn't to be perfect. Like we're never going to reach that. Maybe the point is to just notice that we are getting better, that progress is being made, that our efforts do add up, And that if anyone takes a moment to just notice, it's obvious that every day, in every way, we're getting better and better. It just felt so good. So I'm thinking a lot about how can we nurture, one, the motivation to approach life this way, where we have that, I don't know, I would say it's like a motivation or a drive, but it's also just a belief in ourselves that there's more to learn, and that's good, and it's nice that we are where we are, and of course we're going to get better. And I think some of that has to do with releasing perfection. We have to get out of our own way and recognize that there is no final destination in which we go, I've arrived and I can say I'm done. And it's also noticing where in our lives we have decided that we have it all and we're done and we don't want to progress beyond it. So I think a lot about that and about how this has to do with comfort, really. I think there's definitely stages of every evolution where we get comfortable with the level that we've achieved and we realize that we're way better than we were and we don't want to work that hard to get better than we are now. And yeah, it's a thing for real. I definitely, feel like I could be better at doing dishes, but I've achieved a level in which I'm okay with it and I don't want to get any better at it, but I guess I could. And it's like that with all things, right? Like, how dressy do I want to dress up? How long do I want to brush my teeth? Like, where am I going to drive? Like, could I be a better driver? I think 100% of humanity, we all could be better drivers, but we all hit a point where we go, we've got it. We're not killing anyone. We're driving. We're doing fine. And we don't think about if we could improve, or at least, oh gosh, that was an interesting one to bring up, isn't it? Now I'm thinking. It's something that absolutely I should think about improving and getting better and better at every day. And yet I don't. And I think, again, it's because we go into this automatic brain space where we let our body remember what it remembers and it does what it does. And we don't want to think about it because we have so much other crap going on in our head where we're like, I've got this list of things I need to do and places I need to go. And the dinner needs to get made and all of this. And I'm wondering too, if part of being an adult is that no one's really tracking this stuff for you anymore in the way that we are for our children. When I think of my daughter's life, she has everything is new, everything she's getting better at. She knows that she's learning it. So there's that. But there's also teachers and parents and grandparents and just society in general tracking her and showing her her improvement and actually giving her feedback on it and letting her see that she is on that journey. And at some point in our adult lives, in most cases, like except for work reviews, right? In general, we're not getting that kind of feedback anymore. And to some extent, we kind of dread it because we're like, didn't we do good enough? Haven't we worked hard enough? And I also see that echoed in my daughter, where there are days she comes home from school and she's like, good God, they make us work so hard. I can't believe we have to read so many words. I'm like, oh yeah, I know. It's tough, man. Life is hard. And we feel that way shopping, right? We're like, good God, there's so many aisles and we have to get so much stuff. And why do we need toilet paper again? It is the stuff of living. But no one is there at the grocery store going, hey, Blaze, good job. Thanks for getting those groceries. You did a great job today. Like, there's none of that innate kind of reward happening for us most of the time. And it makes me think that it's so important for us to make it part of our routine, make it part of our consciousness, to acknowledge ourselves for all of those seemingly small, ridiculous, like, of course we had to do it kind of stuff. Because I think of how much my daughter gets a kick out of being praised, right? And knowing that she did a good job, that she achieved what she was setting out to do, that she was supposed to do it, and she showed up and she did it better than she did last time. And that's incredibly motivating for her. And it occurs to me, it's incredibly motivating for me too. If I had people here just cheering me on for, putting my filing away, I probably would be doing it a lot more often. I'd be like, yeah, that's right. I totally did it. Woo. So now I'm starting to build in and creating these ridiculous, it does feel ridiculous because it's so, it's not taught. We're not taught to praise ourselves or to cheer ourselves on or to be our huge cheering section, except in self-help books. but it does help. It makes your life better. When I come into my office and I'm like, oh, geez, that shelf has gotten out of control and I need to clean it, I can dread doing it and not want to do it. But if I did it and knew that at the end I was going to give myself like a woohoo, you did it. Oh my God, it looks so good. Can you believe it? I'm going to go get my daughter and show her, and she will notice that I did it and tell me it's a good job. And part of that is that she's a kid and she has nothing in her brain set up saying that it's weird to praise someone for something simple like that. It's not strange to be brought in and go, hey, check out what I did and tell me I did a good job. So maybe we just need to train the rest of humanity, all of us adults, to start really acknowledging each other for the small and boring things that we do every day that we actually did really well. I think it just fosters such a sense of accomplishment and belonging when we have that kind of feedback in our lives. And if you have no one to give it to you, yes, give it to yourself. Like, just take a moment and go, wow, I totally did that. Like, I dusted the shelf. I dusted the painting on the wall. Like, woohoo. No one else was going to do it. I did it better than I did the other day because the other day I didn't do it at all. Something like that makes you feel good, makes you feel special, and then makes life honestly just a little bit better and more motivating. So this is the other half of it, is once you've praised yourself for something, if you actually get that good feeling snowballs. And then it makes you kind of want to do other things. It makes you want to get up and move more. It makes you want to do another task. It makes you feel like, whoa, I'm a person who accomplishes things. And all of this, here I am still babbling at you about it, came from just that one phrase. Every day and every way, we're getting better and better and better. And I know in the meditation we're guided, like, just think of things that you're doing in every aspect of your life as it's getting better and more flavorful and more juicy and nice. Like, you're just getting better at all of it. And it does make you feel really good. It's worth doing. Yes. Friends, you are getting better and better every day in every way. Keep going. Praise yourself. Acknowledge someone else. Actually, I think if I was to offer anything, acknowledge someone else for something that they did, or that they are, or that you see them being today. Do that and notice how good it makes you feel and what delight they get out of it. Doing things like that, we're going to change the world. Have a marvelous week. I believe in you, and I will see you next time. Thanks so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and share it with someone you love, and leave us a review. You can learn more and get some self-compassion tips and tricks by visiting coachwithblaze.com, where you can sign up to get my free booklet on overcoming anxiety, overwhelm, exhaustion, and burnout. I'm sending you so much appreciation and love, and I'll see you next time.